Got to either get over it or lament it forever. The choice is yours. But I think that's about where he is. I could potentially see him getting moved up one day, but honestly, I don't think so. Hey, welcome back to the channel. All right, it's time to update the rankings for May, and there is a ton. There is an absolute ton to get to. The skill class really just needed to be reworked, kind of like Kabam has reworked them this year. And we've gotten a lot of new champions, new content coming out, and new uses for these champions. So let's dive right into it. Let's get started. If you're unfamiliar with my channel and the rankings, this is based on, of course, it's all going to go through my filter, but it's through the various line chats I'm in. It's all the various friends I've made in the alliances I've played in, not only recently, but over the last few years. And then, of course, the Discord server I'm in is very active. People are constantly talking about this champion, this interaction. There's some extremely skilled players. Don't want to name drop, but there's a lot in there, and they're talking about their uses in war and AQ and content. And then, of course, goes through my filter. I do weigh it a little bit towards war, I believe, just because I enjoy it so much. But that's kind of how this comes out. It is not intended to be your one-stop shop for how good a champion is. I want to give you a very quick snapshot on what that, what I, Vega, think of this champion very quickly. And then I'd like for you to go do your research, play that champion, make sure you enjoy them. It's a game. If they're not fun, you won't play them. So don't rank them up, in my opinion. And then I have listed, you'll see all the ones with the blue. That is a link to either a video that I have done that I think is quite good, that will help you understand the champion or how to look at them. And then in case I do not have one, I have linked a content creator's video that is not mine, that I think is really good and that you should check out and will help you frame whether you should rank that champion up or how good they are. So this spreadsheet is just intended to be a very quick snapshot of how good does Vega think they are relative to really other champions in their class. Think of it that way. All right, top shelf. For those of you who are unfamiliar, that means the best analogy for it, the way to measure it is you've just ranked up the 5-star. You took them to rank 5, 565. You even awakened them and put in 199 sig stones, and the next 6-star crystal you pull, it's that same champion. It stings a little bit because you're like, dude, why did I put all that into the 5-star? But ultimately, maybe it takes a day, maybe it takes 2 days. You're pumped up because it was Doom, and now you have 2 6-star Dooms. That's how you know a champion 6 is top shelf. So let's go ahead and get through this. The champions that are bolded means that they've changed recently, and we're going to at least talk quickly about them, or I'm going to point it out. Because like I said, there's a lot to get to. So let's get through this. The first champion is Cable. Cable actually probably should have been there last time. I just like to be conservative with my initial rankings of champions. And it was the first time I had really said, you know what, it is such a difference when he is synergized with Apocalypse. Up until then, we really hadn't taken synergies into account because I do want to keep this simple. But he's so good, and Apocalypse is so good. He's top shelf. You got Cable, and if you have Apocalypse, pair them together, and you're just going to destroy content and have fun doing it and pick which one you want to use. You don't even have to make them a horseman. Just like, I can see other content creators are catching on to this, right? Like, you don't need to make him a horseman. It is purely the synergy that makes Cable so amazing. If you want to, go ahead, make him a horseman. It's even better. But it's just a synergy. Knock stuff out. If you're like, dude, this guy is insane. Click on the link, watch some of my videos on Cable. I'm pretty sure you'll change your mind. And if you do that and you still think I'm insane, come and let me know in the comment section. We can have a fun talk about it. I do enjoy the comments. All right, moving on. I think that is the, oh no, we're gonna get to the skill class. Okay, the skill class, they're gonna be the star of this show, the star of this video. Aegon Fury, I don't think too many people disagree with that. Falcon should have probably been there a bit ago. We're seeing the uses, even unawakened, or people taking down protect war bosses with him, right? The ability to turn off, or at least 100% ability, accuracy, defensive reduction, that's a huge deal. Remember, it is only defensive, and it is only 100%. So if there's a defender that goes over it or node or something like that. But again, there's going to be exceptions to every rule. The guy is awesome. The damage is there. And then as you awaken him, the damage just goes up from there, right? Mole Man, he is still bugged. He is still bugged. So keep that in mind about, I don't remember if it's true accuracy or true strike or something like that. The longer it goes, I think the more of a backlash there's going to be. Kabam, if you're going to fix him, I'd fix him soon. But even if and when they do fix him, as they've said they're going to. I think he's still very deserving of there, even unawakened, which I love about him. Killmonger, I know. Some of you are gonna be like, dude, you had him in Super Premium and we were giving you flack for it. Dude, he's awesome. There's a reason why when you watch the war videos and you see so many of these like highly skilled players, they're bringing in Killmonger, like Bryn for Loki, DLL, SSX1. I believe Iron Patriot has been bringing his in too, and I think Steel has as well. So Killmonger can do a ton. In a lot of ways, I think almost what holds him back is I think you kind of need to be skilled and you need to dive into his abilities and really understand them in order to maximize him. But when you maximize him, he is excellent. He is excellent. I do think he's towards the lower tier of the top shelf, but he's top shelf. You awaken him, you get those SIGs up, you're going to see a big boost in the damage. And then as Kabam continues to put in more and more nodes that are emphasizing the needing to intercept and things like that, he's awesome. He can get the true strike, and he's part of some nice synergy teams too with some very, very good champions. So I feel pretty confident about that with him in the top shelf. Scrolling on down just so you can kind of see it. And for those who aren't familiar, I will put this spreadsheet, a link to it, in the description, so you can go and take a look at it whenever you want to. Of course, you can then click the links to those videos if you choose to, but it is available to you, so you don't have to see it all in just one snapshot of this video. Super Premium. If you're unfamiliar with my channel, I've been doing a series called Rank 3 Worthy, where I review a champion and I review them in the lens of 3 different account types. And one that's going to be relevant here, and also I'll keep it quick, is for someone who's just looking to get Thronebreaker. That's just a very common question for me. Is this champion worthy of ranking to rank 3 for Thronebreaker? The way I look at Super Premium is, if I can pretty confidently say, yeah, that champion's worthy, go for it, dude. You know what? You like that champion, you have fun with them. I don't think you will regret taking them to rank 3 for Thronebreaker. Then they deserve to be in Super Premium. At a minimum, they are in Super Premium. So I've either done a video on it, or I have a strong sense that that is at least, you know, the minimum for this champion. That's how you get into Super Premium. Voodoo has recently been promoted. It makes a lot of sense. The guy can do a ton with the power control and poison damage and that nice heal at the start. I think the reason we're not seeing him used more on YouTube is because he is only available as a 5-star. However, that doesn't mean he's not good. It just means he's not available as a 6-star. And the cool thing is, last I checked, if you go to the champions page, 6 stars, he's now showing up. That was the same case with Scarlet Witch Sigil just a few weeks ago, and she's been removed, so maybe he'll get removed too, but he's currently there, which is often a sign that they're coming in a crystal soon, or they'll be in the 6-star featured or something like that. I think when that happens, give it a few months, you're going to start seeing Voodoo in some of these videos of people doing 7.2 or the Summer of Pain or Karina's challenges, things like that. I really do. If you've got him, I think you know how good he is. Let's continue to move on down here. And like I said, we're just going to talk about the bold. We got a lot to get to. Mr. Fantastic. He was probably going to get promoted before he got buffed, and then he got buffed. I mean, that's always nice, right? When you're already considering taking a champion to rank 3, and then Kabam's like, hey, you know what? Let's make them just a little bit more powerful for you. So that was cool. A great gift. This is an example. This is the first one. There's going to be a couple of them. Or this is a link. This is a content creator that is not me. There's a good buddy of mine. If you've ever attended one of my streams, there's a good chance you've heard DLL. The guy is an encyclopedia of knowledge on this game and an excellent player in that. He made what I like to refer to as the Bible on Mr. Fantastic. It is that good. It is the authority. It is, I think, about 45 minutes long. Maybe it's 30 minutes. Sit down, watch it. I thought I knew a lot about Mr. Fantastic, and I learned so much. You will be a better, maybe player of the game, but definitely better Mr. Fantastic player if you go ahead and give this a watch, enjoy it, and he put timestamps in case you want to skip around. Let's go ahead and move on down this a bit more. Red Guardian. I want to just talk about him briefly. I'm a Red Guardian fan. I really like him. When I pulled him as a 6-star, I was elated. I don't use him. And I'm not seeing him used very much. It feels like the niche that he was on his way to filling, there's other champions that can do it, or maybe we've learned how to play the game in a way where we don't need necessarily him. I still think he's good. I still suspect that we're going to use him more, but maybe not. He's one of these champions that came out right along the time, or right before we gave Kabam all that feedback last year, and it does feel like the game has veered a little bit. I think he was going to be a star. Not sure he ever will. Chance that he does get moved down, just because other champions are doing more and being used more and have more use in the game. Not much we can do about it, but I have my eye on him and just wanted to make sure that was pointed out. And then we're going to get down to the rest of the skill champions in Super Premium. Kingpin, you know, I have a rank 3. I think he is awesome. I love him. I have him with the synergy there of Hood. I do think his ceiling is higher. I would not be surprised if we push him up to top shelf, especially as 7.2 comes out, and he's got a lot of synergies. And if Hood is good, and all of a sudden you don't mind bringing Hood, or you're pretty excited about bringing Hood, and I know he's good now, but I mean, even better, I could see Kingpin getting pushed up. I could see Crossbones getting pushed up. The thing with him is I think he's still very new in his new buffed form. I don't think that, I know that obviously. And the MCoC synergy seems to be pretty important, although I think like Karate Mike did some videos with him, and Munash did some great videos with Crossbones showing what they can do. And so I like him. I think he's good. I think this is a good starting point, and let's keep our eye on him. And then Elsa. I was wrong on Elsa. I had Elsa lower. Didn't have a lot of experience with her. I'm now in SXX1, and this happens where certain alliances just really latch on to a champion and they rank them, and that champion's not ranked in other alliances. But I'm getting to see almost on the daily how good she is, what can be done with her, her ability to not have to take too many blocked hits and control a fight. It's definitely there. Stealth S. I'm staying stubborn on my ranking of Stealth Spidey. In fact, I kind of want to move him down, to be honest, but I know that's my bias in that I just don't enjoy playing him. He has very poor flow, what I call flow, and that's how a champion's kit fits together, and when you need an ability, it's usually there, and I think his is really bad. We can debate that another time. I always love the comments on these ranking videos, so if you're a stealth lover, let me know. I enjoy it, and I've learned so much from these from the comments in these videos in particular. It's one of the reasons I make the ranking videos. I learn a lot. Moving down to Angela, we've already talked about her in the previous videos. So let's go ahead and move back up to Premium. Premium, the way it's similar to Super Premium, because these are still really good champions, and that's something I want to get clear. You're in my 4th column, but they're a great champion, or at least very good. And it still is relative to, I think of it still through this rank 3 for Thronebreaker. And where with Super Premium, with all of them, it's like, yes, go for it. Dude, as long as you like them, go for it. With Premium, it's more of a, well, let's ask some detailed questions. How much do you like that champion? Maybe what SIG do you have them at? Will they fulfill a role in your roster, maybe through immunities or power control or buffs or debuffs? So like I said, we're really going to examine it significantly more closely. And there's going to be some variance there as we talk about them, but you'll see that if someone were to ask me, hey, should you take up Mojo to rank 3? I happen to particularly like Mojo, so I would say yes in most cases, but I would still ask, what's the SIG level? Do you have them awakened? What role is that champion going to fulfill in your roster? And absolutely, you've got to like them. You've got to like them. It's got to be a champion you will continue to play. So that's how I think of Premium. These are very good champions, okay? Mojo, I've got my eye on. I used to have him in Super Premium, just was not seeing him played very much, not nearly to the extent that I would like for him to fit into the Super Premium designation. And the last couple of months, I have gotten to meet someone whose YouTube name is Spinnaker3, and his playlist to his channel here on Mojo. I've really enjoyed those videos. I've learned a lot about playing Mojo. I've learned a lot about the game too. I highly suggest you check this out. There's a full playlist there on how to play him, being used in war, and other content that's quite tricky actually. And I think as these things continue to come out, 7.2, and if Spinnaker uses him in Summer of Pain or things like that, I am sure Mojo will get pushed right back up. It can do some very unique things. And I know the issue with him is the block proficiency. You can't always pair him with Guardian. I know people like to do that, but also Spinnaker in these videos will show you that you really don't end up having to take that many blocked hits if you're playing Mojo well. So I like Mojo a lot. And let's go ahead and keep on moving down. Sabretooth is the next one we'll talk about. The guy doesn't really do a lot. He's always been considered Omega Red's traveling partner, right? He wherever Omega Red goes, Sabretooth comes along, and that was considered okay because Omega Red is that good. Sabretooth can do some real damage, and it's with that synergy. I believe it's with Sasquatch. I just used this to clear the O Canada challenge in Labyrinth of Legends. Sabretooth was a lot of fun, and that is a challenge that will continue to exist in this game. My understanding is it is a permanent piece of content. Sabretooth was excellent for it, punching way above his 4-star level, which gives me some insights into the kind of Everest content that he could handle and take for someone else. I do really think that's his only real strong role, but for those purposes, and if that's how it fits into your roster, I think he's very deserving of this designation. Spider-Ham. I love Spider-Ham. Kind of want to put him in the super premium, to be honest, but I'd like to see a little bit more content come out. Partially because I think I'm biased towards him. He is so much fun, but the guy has the ability to put forth a lot of damage. He doesn't often even need power in his own, and he can help you handle some serious, intense power gain fights and champions and punish them for it. He's a blast and an excellent champion. Then we get down to a new champion and a recent buff champion. Both Vulture, I know, came in. There's some Vulture. Vulture has a following. And it seems like the Vulture fans are very excited about it. I've played around with him a bit, and it's cool. I think he's in this premium. I think he's really deserving of it. And if you pair him with different synergies, but at some point for me, even though those synergy partners are really good, I'm not seeing a champion that's like locking down a defender or making them fight against themselves. I guess I'm just not seeing a super premium level champion. I'm seeing a very good premium level champion. If you pair him with certain synergies, maybe he gets pushed up a little bit. But I want to, kind of hold on there and be cautious and keep him in the premium channel for now. Silver Centurion, the hopes for him, I think they were wrong. We got it wrong. I was excited about Silver Centurion too, but it seems like his playstyle is just a bit unrealistic. I know that there have been some videos showing that he can do some significant damage, but even those videos commented like, this might not be the easiest or most efficient way to play him. It's very aggressive, and it can go wrong. Let's also give him time in this game, right? Same with Vulture, any recently buffed champion. I think there's always a chance of them moving up a tier, and sometimes even two. Let's keep our eye out on that. And if you're a Silver Centurion fan or a Vulture fan, please let me know. I'd love to hear about it. I'd love to hear why you are. That's great. I've learned a ton for those sorts of things. Black Panther and Jabari. So a new champion, a buff champion. I already have Black Panther as a rank 3. You can see the video on that. I really like him. I enjoy him a lot. I could see him being moved into the super premium, especially if you really get good at playing him. His utility is a little difficult to access, in my opinion. It doesn't just flow super well. And you're doing a lot of intercepting, which can be a dangerous way to play. And there's nothing in his kit that lets you know that intercepting is going to either be easier or safer. So that's concerning, right? Because you can get hit pretty bad if you're trying to force intercepts and things like that. But I do like him. I think it was a nice buff. The damage is definitely there. Very cool. And they added a ton of utility. Jabari, I can see Jabari getting moved up as well. One of her issues is going to be, I think it's like her armor, her block proficiency, or maybe it's both, just isn't that good. She does have the cleanse mechanic. Her bleed is quite nice. And then something to not lose sight of is that fury buff she can gain is massive. I believe after she gets it, she's somewhere around where Fury's at in his second life. It's close if I remember correctly. I like her quite a bit, and she is an evade counter, so her utility is definitely there, and I think it's relatively accessible. She just happened to come out at the time of Black Panther and a lot of other really awesome champions, and she feels like someone to me who, as the game progresses, we might realize is a little bit better than we currently think as a community. And then the skill class just kind of flows down from there. Let's go ahead and get to Cosmic. Odin. I know people really like Odin, and any champion that has, I believe it's the True Strike and can access that, and then his buffs are obviously great for other champions, some nice synergies there for Angela and Hela, of course. Quality champion, I think he fills the role very well. I know that we all wanted more. I know I did. I was hoping for more of an Apocalypse style champion. No, that's not what we got, right? Gotta either get over it or lament it forever. The choice is yours. But I think that's about where he is. I could potentially see him getting moved up one day, but honestly, I don't think so. And then we'll get to Call. The analogy for Call, or the way you know this is a Call champion, is they're like the baseline for someone that's worth ranking. I would not rank 3 of these champions unless you just really want to, where they fulfill a role in your roster. And this is a game. You should have fun with it. But they're the kind of the baseline for, like, we're not immediately saying they just badly need a buff. Or And for me, like the epitome of call is Ronin, and people use him for an extremely specific instance, right? And so you're calling your shot. You're like, this is a Ronin fight. I am bringing him in and I'm going to destroy this fight. They're going to come in, they're going to destroy that fight for you. And then you're just never going to use him again until you run into that exact same style of fight. So that's call. That's what it means to be call. And I don't think we have any new additions to the call list here. The buffs have all been better than this, and the new champions have been better with this. The one I do want to point out, though, as I scroll down and look at it, is Immortal Hulk. I feel like that you can really measure champion and get a sense of like what's in there. You can look at their kit and how well they flow together, their immunities, utility, and things like that. But additionally, the other thing that's going to determine how good they're going to be is the nodes and defenders that are in the game. It feels like nodes and defenders are coming out that Immortal Hulk happens to be really good for. He right now is fitting my definition of call, and he's like an amazing one for it. But I could potentially see him getting moved up. Some smart players I know seem to really like him, and that's usually a tip-off that there's a little bit more than as the general community realizes. Luke Cage has some nice utility too. He could potentially get moved up. I just don't think he's as good or as usable as the ones right above him. And so that's really the list here. Yeah. Always feel free to join the Discord server. We have great discussions on this kind of stuff all the time. It's where a lot of my knowledge on these things has been coming from. The champions are ranked in their tiers in general, right? And as the farther we go down, the more it's just going to be very subjective and things like that. It's really about the columns. And then if you're wondering, like, what about all the champions you didn't mention? For me, I'm not gonna, like, this video could be an hour long. It's already, looks like it's already about 24 minutes long, and all we did was talk about the ones that have been addressed and changed. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I cannot emphasize enough how much I learned from the comment section, particularly of this video. Some of the people I've gotten to know that are on the Discord server, very active in it, and then also on my streams, are people who I've had nice chats with in the comment section of these videos. So if you disagree with me, please let me know and inform me why, right? Tell me why I am wrong. I've learned a ton about that, right? And don't just tell me like, oh, because you're an idiot. Well, hey, I'm an idiot. I'm not gonna learn much from that. But if you can tell me what it is about the champion, why you like them and how you use them, I would love to learn about it. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. I hope you either learned something, were entertained, or even better, a little bit of both. Don't forget to like, subscribe. Thanks so much for watching. Take care.